Live from the New England Motorcycle Museum. I'm here with Dan Champagne. He has just dropped his phone, but he's running for senator, state senator. He's been the mayor of Vernon for, this is 2 terms now.
5 years.
5 years. And he's been with us every step of the way here as we build the New England Motorcycle Museum. In 2013, when we had the ribbon cutting on the first building, Dan was here. And we just wanted to go over, tomorrow's the day, November 6th. You got to vote tomorrow. So I was going over some of the reasons why I think you should vote for Dan and some of the accomplishments that he's had. We can start up on East Main Street. Well, Loom City Lofts got completed during his term as mayor here, and also the building across the street. Tell us a little bit about that one. That was an eyesore.
Well, I went to Loom City Lofts and I looked out the window, and there's a tree growing from the second floor out through the roof.
That's
And
a sure sign.
To fall off.
Yeah.
So within a short time, we had the owners of the owners of that business come over and tear it down and clean up the site. And we're looking into what we can do with that site right now.
It looks 1,000 times better, that's for sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure the neighbors really appreciate it, and the people who live in Loom City Lofts now, really, what a paradigm shift. If you had been there a couple years ago, we have some aerial photos that Kenny had taken on my YouTube channel, Rockville 2015, I think it was, and that place was an absolute eyesore. Now it's a Taj Mahal, absolutely stunning what's happened there. And also, the roads are all brand new there, too.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about, since you became mayor, I think $70 million in roadway improvements, is that about right?
No. We had bonded, we're bonding for $24 million, somewhere
24?
around there. And what we did is we have Public Works doing a lot of the work. And by doing that, we're saving a lot of money. And then the cost of oil went down, which really helped us out. So I think we're up to rehabbing about 210 roads right now. So
It's remarkable, the improvement. I think we're slated for a new street out here. I was on the town list for next year, I think, right?
as soon as the water company finishes the mains,
Yeah,
we don't want to put a new one down and then rip it up again.
Absolutely, but so new roadways, new bridges. There's 3 new bridges in sight from the museum, one over on Orchard Street, one on River Street, and one down here on West Main. That was a huge project too,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that started when I was on the town council with Jason McCoy, and we've been working on our major bridges ever since. So we have 2 major bridges left. We have complete funding for them, and right now we're hoping to get to work on those probably within the next year or 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Dan started out, you may or may not know, but he was a police officer for what, 22 years?
22 years.
And you grew up
Yes.
right around the corner from here, right?
Right on Village Street.
Right in Village Street.
I used to play down here when I was a kid.
So this is definitely his hometown, and he's here for the long haul. He's been mayor for 2 terms and
3 terms.
3 terms. I'm sorry, and hopefully senator tomorrow. So I think you also were at the high school for a while, also as a police officer, weren't you?
No, I taught dare and officer friendly in the elementary schools.
Elementary school.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. I never got to the high school because by the time I was able to apply for that position, my daughters were there, and that just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I hear you. So the point is, he's been here for his whole life. This is his hometown, and he's dedicated to making this right. And he's got the education to back it up too. I believe you have a master's degree.
Master's in public administration, yes.
So he's got the education and the experience, and his heart is in the city, and everybody knows him, though. That's true. He's dedicated his entire life to the city, so of Rockville and Vernon. So also, he's done an incredible amount for the property owners in the area. If you own a building in Rockville or Vernon, your property values have skyrocketed in the last 6 years because it was probably close to within a few blocks of an abandoned mill. There's 3 major mill sites that have gotten completed during Dan's terms as mayor. Both 200 West Main Street here, the New England Motorcycle Museum. We've invested close to $7 million, $21 million into the Loom City Lofts. I think $23 million into Talcaville Mills, correct?
Talcaville Mill.
These were the biggest eyesores in the city, and Dan worked closely with the state, the DEP, and
the owners.
And the owners,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, that's for sure. You've been on speed dial. Many times we've called when we've had problems down here, and Dan's been here, and his whole administration, Sean Gately. We had a major issue down here where a contractor broke a gas main right down on the other end of the complex, and I pulled down the street, and there's cop cars and fire trucks and TV crews and everything, and Sean was here, and the guys from the town were here. Dan was here, making sure everything was okay. So where most people would probably be running the other way, but this is their hometown, so they care. The other thing too, let's see, what else can we talk about?
We got 19 Grove cleaned up.
19 Grove, yeah, that was a
Which,
huge eyesore,
yeah.
driving into town forever.
And we just got a grant because we're going to extend our trail system up into Tolland from Vernon Avenue. It's going to cut across the Emerville property, which we've cleaned up, across 19 Grove. It's going to go behind the pond and it's going to come out on East Street, and then we're going to have sidewalks up into Tolland.
Yeah, the Rails to Trails is huge for people who
Yeah.
live around here. Everybody enjoys that, and with Dan's plan, it's going to get even better. The Amarillo Mills was a complete eyesore for decades, and there was a major, 60,000 square foot building that you worked with the EPA and
Yep.
the state and got a grant for like $4 million and had
Yes.
that cleaned up.
Yep. And now we're working on another section up there that we just applied for another grant.
I think I'd like to add, 99% of these improvements that we're talking about didn't cost the town a penny, because Dan was able to negotiate with the town and the state and the EPA
Yep.
to get a lot of these paid for with federal funds, which do not raise our taxes here and have done phenomenal things for the community. So the funds that the town and state have for these types of projects, Dan was able to use them,
Right.
and it made massive improvements to the town.
Now, don't forget, even with state and federal money, that's still our tax money, but that money was going to go somewhere, and it was good that it came here to Vernon.
To Connecticut.
Yep, and.
Stayed here.
Yeah, and now that I'm going to a much bigger area, I have 13 towns, if I get elected tomorrow, that I'm going to concentrate on and do the same thing that I've been doing here in Vernon.
They'll be blessed with your presence as we have been.
Well,
So
I'll work hard for them.
we know you will. I think there was a couple other things I wanted to talk about.
Well, we got a new senior center.
Oh, the senior citizens,
And,
absolutely.
that worked out well. So I picked the building I wanted, which is actually the current location. We went to buy it. The owner didn't want to sell it. So we found another location pretty close by. It was next to the trails, woodland. It connected to other land that we owned and some state land. So we bought that. And then the owner of the original piece came along, said, you know what, I want to sell this. Now he wants to sell it to me. And because we would have been rehabbing an older building, that one only cost us around $3 million, whereas the piece of property I did buy was going to cost more like $7 or $8 million.
Sure.
So it was a no-brainer
Half
to switch
investment.
over.
Absolutely.
And, we still have that other piece of property, but we don't have to worry about that. That'll go at some point.
So Dan cares about the senior citizens. He also cares about the kids. He's worked in the school system. He's got 3 kids that went through the school system here, and he's here for the long haul. If you own a business in the town, this is a place you want to be, and I'm sure the 13 towns will benefit from you once you become state
Absolutely.
senator. So if you're a property owner, this is the kind of guy you want steering the ship. And if you're a business owner and a property owner and you have your kids in the school system like me, this is the kind of guy you want to support. So things will get done with him.
I'll work hard for you, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So anything else you want to add, Mark? Kenny?
No, I think you guys,
Good.
Thank you
All right.
once again for coming down here today. Really
Good.
appreciate
Thank
it. We'll definitely be giving you our vote tomorrow and our whole team. So
Thank you.
hope. And I think I said in my last video I did, if you're a motorcyclist, you'd be a fool not to vote for Dan. Yeah, because without him, this New England Motorcycle Museum may not have come to fruition. So he's been very supportive. His whole team have helped us make this possible, and we're super grateful. So make sure you get out tomorrow, get off the couch, and vote. And God bless America.
Absolutely.